What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz coming at you with another Pokemon Master discussion video. If you guys are enjoying these, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. Now, today we're taking a look at SYGNA Suit Leon and Eternatus. Ooh. So, this is another SYGNA Suit. He's a Pokefair, which kinda sucks, but it's honestly kind of weird to me how this Leon is a Pokefair, but the regular Leon is a Master Fair, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Passive skills. Lucky 7-4 has a 50% chance of lowering the target's attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, and evasiveness by 1 stat rank when the user's attack move against it is successful. So 50% of the time, you're just going to give them an Omni drop, basically. Max damage guard. Applies damage guard next effect to the user after using its max move. If hit with an attack while this effect is applied, the attack will have no effect on the user, while all the damage of some attacks such as sync moves will be halved. This effect is removed after it's activated. So that is a pretty big one. While it's only for himself, we're starting to see more, more potent guard type things, like we saw with I think it's Ingo in Archeops, how they had the damage reduction that could even working at sync moves. Now we're starting to see that as like a regular passive. Granted, it is a Pokefair unit. I think that's still really relevant to take note of. And passive 3 is just ramming speed. So that's really good that it has ramming speed, because the higher its speed is, the more damage its stacks will do, and that's just good. It's a Dragon type striker, ground weakness because it is Poison Dragon in the games. Dragon Strike, Galar Strike, SYGNA Suit Strike, Battle Facility Foe Strike, and Free Spirit Strike. Now the biggest issue I have with Leon, well, one, he's right before his second anniversary, and two, he's another Dragon type unit. And for me personally, I already have quite a few Dragon type units. On top of that, we're getting a rerun this month of the Cyrus event, who was also a very strong Dragon type user, and they're free. Now Leon probably will still out damage Cyrus and Palkia. I don't actually know off the top of my head. I'd have to run some calcs to see, but it's just another Dragon user, which is I mean, like, I really like the outfit of this Leon a lot more than the regular outfit. Like, I think this outfit looks amazing compared to his regular one. But that's neither here nor there. That's personal preference. So that's just my issue with this Leon. It's also, I find it weird that it's Leon and Eternatus as a surprise for this month. But I'll go over here. We have Dynamax Cannon. It is a 4-gauge move. This move's powers increases by 50% when the target has a sync buff. That is just like Glorious Behemoth Blade, and I assume that Hoppin' Zamazenta's Behemoth Bash will be the same thing. 144 power, max of 172. Dire Hit Plus, pretty standard. And Strikers, +2 crit hit rate. X speed +2 or +3 speed. Ooh, that's actually extremely interesting, because I think that's the first time we're seeing an X item plus, just like on its own. So now that's got me kind of wondering if we're going to see X attack all plus, or X speed all pluses, +3 later on down the line. It's not that big of a deal, because there are units that can raise like plus more attack or special attack for the party, such as Hilbert and Samurott. Their trainer move is just plus up to +4 attack, or maybe even up to +6. But it's depending on how low Hilbert's HP is. If you're at 100% HP, it's like +3 attack, but it can go up further than that. So that's pretty interesting. And then we have Eternal Power. Reduces the user's sync move countdown by 1. Raises special attack by 3 stat ranks. Applies super effective up next to the user, and lowers the user's sped up by 1 stat rank. So Leon is actually extremely self-sufficient. The only, I guess, real downside with his trainer move is that it lowers your sync move countdown, which isn't necessarily really a downside, right? But you might not want to use that, you know, early on in the fight, right? Because Leon is so self-sufficient on his own, but you can obviously pair him up with some supports. So you might want to use like Eternal Power, have someone else raise his speed, and have someone else, you know, while he raises his own crit. Because if you would just have Leon just buff himself on his own, what's that? 3, 2, 2. You would have to use all 6 of his other moves, which again, you're probably not gonna be in a situation where you're just gonna have Leon solo buffing unless you're doing like a Leon solo run. But it's not, like I said, it's not like the biggest deal. But if you're just trying to be like efficient, like you'll go down two sync things. It'll really be effective for precinct clears and Master Stadium. Actually, that'll be extremely effective. Never mind, that's not a downside. Not a downside at all. But you just have to be more, I guess, more aware of like your buffs and stuff, and how much time you have before your sync move to get the most optimal use out of it, which is kind of what I was going for when I said, you know, it's a little bit of a downside, just because you have to pay a little bit more attention if you don't want to. If you want to optimally time, you know, all your abilities and everything for your sync move countdown. And Eternal Champion, Dragon Beam, his sync move, and then when it's EX'd, it obviously hits all targets. 250 to 300 power. So let's hop on over to the sync grid real quick. Actually, real quick, before we get into a sync grid, I forgot about this entirely. Like, I had this tab open and everything. I was about to go into sync grid. But the max move for Eternatus, Eterna Beam. Charges user's move gauge by 3 for each allied sync pair on the field. When using a co-op battle, it charges the move gauges of all allied sync pairs by 3 instead. 400 base power move. Really, really strong. It is your max move. And this one is just a DPS one. It's like, tactical nuke. So now we're going to head over to the sync grid. Okay, and over here on the sync grid, we actually have some quite interesting things. First up, we have Dynamax Slip Up 1 lowers the speed of all the sync pairs by 1 stat after using the user's max move, which is pretty interesting. Let's have them -1 speed. We have Hunter's Instinct. The more the target speed is lowered, the more it powers up the user's moves. So Leon might actually be able to deal huge amount of damage, you know, paired with the right units, right? Like, pretty good. You know, your Eternal Power move MP refresh, your move gauge refresh. Stalwarts, it's whatever. So like you just don't get the drop from your trainer move. That's really not a big deal. Sharp Entry, +1 crit when it enters a battle, so you'd only have to use your words are hard. Your dire hit plus once, but again, it's not that big of a deal. You don't need these. You don't need this at all. Like, you just use this twice, and you're at max speed because this is +3 speed. So you don't need to MP refresh with that. Move gauge refresh on this. It's like, it's whatever. Over here, you have the dire hit move gauge refresh again. That's you don't need that. And then you have the MP refresh again, something that you don't need. Has 2 uses of it, maxes out your crit anyway. Have unflappable, no flinching. Max countdown 1 reduces the sync move, uses sync move countdown by 1 after using its max move. So now we're seeing that they're leaning hard into the max moves, which is pretty interesting. Power Flux 3, the fuller the move gauges, move selected, the more powers up the moves. I'm actually really curious, would this, first of all, this can up your damage a lot. You just have to be careful in Champion Stadium if you choose the -2 gauge, because that will lower your damage by a little bit. But I don't know, would this apply for Eterna Beam? But it just has moves. That is a move. Endurance applies enduring effect, which is alright. You have 2 sync nodes here, so you probably won't be really sync nuking all that much. Although yeah, some other nice things over here. Well, we have inertia, so you're definitely gonna want to grab that because you have inertia and ramming speed. You use inertia. 300, 400. Yeah, it's kind of spicy actually. Yeah, maybe inertia. Like if he's EX'd, you probably want inertia because then like you just sides. Dynamax move gauge refresh 4. You might want this since this is a 4 gauge move if you're not running like any kind of move gauge refreshes, or I'm sorry, move gauge acceleration, or like something like Rosa next to him, so that you can do something when you don't have your 4 gauges. And then we have Return to Beam Power plus 100 because 400. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, 480. Why is it 480? Oh, okay, it's 480 because of right? Yeah, okay. It's 480 because of the 5 stars. So yeah, 580 nuke, just in case you need it, if you want to go for that. So Leon and E-Tornadus actually look pretty solid. Again, my biggest issue with them is that they're another Dragon type sync pair, and I already have quite a few Dragon type sync pairs. One of them is Cynthia, who's one of my favorite units in the game. So it's already looking like I don't really need to pull for Leon, which is good for me because I get to save a second anniversary. I feel like that this is a pretty, I feel like this is a pretty easy skip, especially with Palkia. Palkia coming through. Again, that is also coming from someone who, Leon is not my favorite trainer. So if Leon is your favorite trainer, hey, feel free to go for it. But like I said, I just have a lot of other Dragon type damage dealers. So for me personally, it's not that big of a deal if I don't get Leon. So yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. Let me know how you guys feel about Leon, if you'll be pulling for him or not, with second anniversary right around the corner. I feel like they're going really hard with this because like one of the biggest things is the Eternal Beam. So like that's just a fat nuke that you don't have to use gauge for, which I think is huge. Oh my gosh, you see this? I'm hovering over Eternal Beam and Power Flux 3 is lit up, so I'm pretty sure that means it works. Yeah, because that means it hovers over, like it highlights the things that work with it. Oh god, so you're potentially doing even more damage with Eternal Beam. That's really good. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how much damage like Eternal Beam can just do. On like something, just like nuking something down after you get like the max attack. Something like Dragon Week during Champion Stadium or something. Anyway, yeah, like I said, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.